If you've never used a 3D printer before but have been seriously considering it, a device with an auto-leveling bed and a sort of plug and print usability might seem like the perfect choice. That's certainly what I thought, but did it turn out to be the case? I'm Christian Corley, you're watching Make Use of Reviews, and this is the Geeetech Mizar S auto-leveling 3D printer. The Geeetech Mizar S auto-leveling 3D printer has a building platform volume of 255 by 255 by 260 millimeters, outputs a layer thickness of 0.1 to 0.2 millimeters, and prints PLA, ABS, PETG, silk, PLA, wood polymer, and possibly some other filaments. The website and manual sort of disagree with each other on that. The unit includes a TF card slot for micro SD cards, a USB Type-B port, touchscreen display, and weighs 11 kilos. Meanwhile, you'll need a space big enough for the 377 millimeters long by 362 millimeters wide by 653 millimeter high dimensions. Shipping in a huge box, the Geeetech Mizar S is surprisingly straightforward to assemble. All that is required is to attach the Z-axis gantry to the bed unit, connect a few cables, and attach the filament reel holder. However, this is a bit of a pain, failing to stay in shape without something to fix the T-shaped bolts in their slot before securing the hex screws. I used Blu Tack. At the time of recording, the Geeetech Mizar S did not have a profile for Cura. This is a bit of a worry, as the 3D printing software is really important to using this printer effectively. Presumably the people at Geeetech expected this, so included some software on the micro SD card that shipped with the 3D printer. Well, that's what it said in the manual, but the actual SD card only included STL files and a few manuals. Compatible with Windows, macOS and Linux over USB. I mainly swapped the SD card between the PC and the printer using the touchscreen interface rather than the USB interface. Sadly, the touchscreen on the test printer was rippled by air bubbles, making observation in certain lights a bit of a problem. Now, that is enough about the setup, because what you really want to know is, how does the Geeetech Mizar S actually print? Well, when you start with a 3D printer, like making a pancake, the first thing you print is never going to work right. And confession time, this is my first 3D printer. Despite years of reading and researching and watching YouTube videos about 3D printers and 3D printing and adhesion and heat beds and filaments and extruders, I'd never actually taken the plunge before now. It's a time-consuming game, something I've come to terms with, and as such doesn't inform the opinions that I've formed about this printer. But I didn't even get to print the first thing until I'd had the Geeetech Mizar S set up for a few days. Why? Well, it turns out I got the assembly a little bit wrong. There's a sensor that needs to be manually attached to the base. The others are already attached, which is housed in a 3D printed case. The idea is you assemble this small case, screw it to the 3D printer, and attach a small cable. Seems simple enough, but in practice, I didn't spot that the case was in two parts, so screwed the sensor, bare solder and all, directly to the base. The result? Well, a heat bed that flings itself backwards during the auto-leveling process, which never completes. Having tracked down the faults and disassembled that component, put it back together correctly, essentially resolving it, the printer finally completed auto-leveling, the filament was fed, and printing commenced. The unpleasant initial failure was a pre-installed STL of a vase, this one here. I checked this in Cura, where I discovered that the printer is too new to have a profile. Now, there didn't seem to be anything obvious to download from the website and no profile on the SD card. Consequently, testing was done using the profile of the Geeetech A5 and any risks associated with that. Now, adhesion issues came to light printing the vase, and not for the last time. The magnetic mylar tray both failed to hold onto the vase during printing and then failed to release it when required when everything had cooled. Now, the idea of the magnetic mylar tray, which attaches to the heat bed, is that it should provide better adhesion for printing and release prints more easily at the end of printing when the whole system is cooled down. That didn't seem to work. Next out of the extruder was the old favourite 3D Benchy. I've seen so many of these things printed on YouTube over the years, it was nice to have my own at last. The thrill's worn out now. It provided a good look at how detailed printing is with the Mizar S. When the mylar tray finally released the boat, some filing of stray edges within the cabin was required, but the included file for, smoothing edges and getting rid of those little dangly bits, well, it seemed woefully inadequate. But overall, the 3D Benchy print looked pretty good. And then I aimed for something a little more ambitious. An Eiffel Tower, not much bigger than 3D Benchy. And by this time, I'd become pretty familiar with the user interface on the touchscreen, it's easy enough, and had enabled various features, including the sensor to detect snapped filaments. But this didn't work with the Eiffel Tower. The red ran out, and then something happened with the white filament as well that we were sent along with a black reel. This project also failed initially to stick to the mylar, despite plenty of glue and a thicker raft. I can't be certain why, but it was probably due to the speed of the print. Now, those other issues I mentioned earlier resulted in what should have been about that large taking several days and ultimately not printing because I gave up. The snapped filaments, which wasn't missed, the extruder nozzle clogging up, and the filament feed system blocking up despite boasts of a dual cog system for smoother filament feed. And switching the extruder nozzle proved difficult, as well as the wrench included with the Mizar S didn't fit. These issues resolved, I then started a final print for the review, a rocket, output with overall precision, although a couple of inaccuracies occurred early on. Overall, however, I was happy with this print. Ostensibly a good 3D printer, the Geeetech Mizar S sadly misses key features while under-delivering on others. For example, you can only print one filament at a time, something that other 3D printers are multiplying on. The pause feature is unreliable at best. There's the air bubble in the touchscreen display, and the reel holder is, temperamental. Now, you might argue that a 3D printer is specialist hardware. True. But then so is a soldering iron, or a portable power station, or a high-end set of headphones. If you'd had this level of disappointment with any of those items, you'd rightly ask for a refund. And I haven't even recalled the missing software, lack of Cura profile, or ill-fitting wrenches. But the self-leveling bed is a huge time saver. Linux support is a massive plus, particularly for me, and there is a nice plug and print aspect to creating with the Geeetech Mizar S. If you're interested in reviews of consumer tech of all kinds, subscribe to this, the Make Use of YouTube channel, where you'll also find tips, tricks, and even some giveaways.